Hi everyone, it's Vismaya Rubin, founder of Living in Gratitude Today, teacher, speaker, best-selling author, but my favorite role is that of a gratitude gangsta. What? So we talked this week about a morning routine and the power of a morning routine, and I gave you some examples from what Hal Elrod uses as what he calls his lifesavers. Now, you don't have to do all of them. You know, like I said in the email last week or on Sunday, is that you get to pick and choose. But the one thing that I want to really reiterate is that the importance of a morning routine is the fact that you get it done in the morning, and if something comes up, if life happens, if you have a meeting you forgot about, you have to pick up your kids, you get an opportunity to do something really fun, you don't feel bad that you didn't get the stuff done that you needed to do for yourself. Right? So it's an opportunity. If you have to wake up a little bit earlier, I know some of you are rolling your eyes at me going, I don't want to. It's an opportunity for you to do the most important things for you and to fill your cup and to fill your soul and to give you that time to really ground yourself and focus on what it is that you want. So let me go through his lifesavers again. This is just the way he describes them, but Tony Robbins has a routine in the morning. Oprah has a morning routine. Most successful people, you will notice, have a morning routine, and they're not afraid of waking up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm not there yet. However, I do love when I sit down and I'm quiet in that morning time, and I do the things I need to do, and I really set the way the day is going to go. And I'll give you an example today. I woke up. I listened to a meditation in the morning. I decided that I needed to write my universal to-do list, so I made a list for me, things that I was going to do, things that I was going to turn over to the universe and say, listen, I need some help, universe. And I did some journaling, and I also listened to a podcast that was really an amazing podcast. I listened to it yesterday, and I wanted to take some notes and listen to it again. So the idea is that by the time I left my room, I had done all sorts of things. I did an exercise because I knew I was going to yoga, which I did. So the idea is that you get the things done that you need to get done first. The things that fuel you, feed your soul, you get those out of the way, so to speak. You know, I was listening to a talk this morning, like I shared with you, on happiness. And Laurie Santos is a professor at Yale. She has this really great class called The Psychology of a Good Life. I think that's the name of it. And she talks about how there are simple things that most people who call themselves happy, that research shows that are happy, there are certain things that these people do. And she went on to explain those things, which I'll explain at another time. But the point was this: they're simple things, but it's not always easy. And the reason it's not always easy is because, like anything else, you have to apply them. And she gave a great analogy. She says, you know, I could have you in my class and I could talk to you about fitness and muscle building, right? And I could tell you all the exercises to do, and I could show you videos, and I could, you know, demonstrate for you. However, if you don't actually go out and do the exercises yourself, you're not changing anything in your body. You're not growing in strength. You're not going to lose fat or burn fat. Nothing will change except that you'll know a lot more information. And it's the same thing with each of these activities that we talk about, you know, in these newsletters or the weekly messages for the community. The morning routine, it's great that you know all these things, but if you're not applying them, doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. So I'm going to go through them again really quickly, and then some of the stuff we've talked about in previous weeks. So if you just joined the movement and there's something I'm saying that you don't know what I'm talking about or referring to, and you want to see the video or you want me to send you something, please let me know. So the S starts for, and this is the way that Hal Elrod explains it. He says S stands for silence. So do a meditation in silence. You know, silence your mind for a little bit. I love to go on YouTube and find meditations. There are some great ones with Deepak Chopra, the series that he does with Oprah. You can find them online on YouTube for free. So that's the S. Find time to sit and meditate. And I'll tell you, about, when was it? In October, I sat down and I meditated. And it was the first time that I've ever meditated and I got a feeling of like almost euphoria. And it doesn't happen all the time, but at that moment I was like, oh my God, I get it. So it's the practice, right? It's the continuously doing something and quieting the mind and listening to the things that go through and being present to whatever's there. So S is for silence, sitting in silence. The A is for affirmations. So a couple weeks, it was probably in December, I sent out an email. We talked about the power of I am enough statement. So affirmations, say things to yourself that are going to uplift you. Look in the mirror. We talked about one day standing in the mirror naked, talking about how much you love your body, how powerful you are. So say things to yourself that are positive. And we can go into this a little bit more detail at another time, but the more you talk to yourself and the more you see yourself in a positive light, the more you're telling your brain that that stuff is true. So, I can do it. I am enough. I am powerful. I am beautiful. I am sensual. I am hot if you're a guy. Whatever it is, say those words to yourself. What we did in December was I recommended getting a list of the I am statements. I wrote them all out and then I recorded them on my phone and I read them like 2 or 3 times so that I had a longer recording. If that's something that you want, I can send that to you as well. The V is for visualize. The most important part of visualization is feeling what it would feel like. If you achieve that goal, let me rephrase that. When you achieve that goal, what is that feeling? How are you gonna feel when that happens? And for some people that's a little tricky, but once you keep doing it, you practice it, it gets to be very fun. One of the things that I like to do as part of my morning routine with the visualization is I like to write I have a journal for my manifestation. So I write down how I want my day to go. The perfect day, I write it in that notebook. And what that allows me to do, it allows me to tap into some of the details that I might have missed. It allows me to get that feeling. And I know when I'm in the feeling because your whole body is in it. And then all of a sudden you go back into your head and you can totally tell the difference. So try when you're doing that, visualize what does it feel like to be in that space. SAVE, exercise. That's self-explanatory. And what's cool about the exercise is that you can combine affirmations and exercise. You can combine the R, which is the reading part, into exercise. So make sure you're out there exercising. And the reason is that when we exercise, it shifts our hormones, it shifts the emotions, it shifts all of the good stuff so that we are able to really release some things that no longer serve us. We can let go of if we're having a little bit of anxiety or negative feelings. We let them go as we exercise. SAVER. The R stands for reading. So if you're not a big reader, listen to a podcast. Listen to something that is going to be educational for you, that's going to take your knowledge to another level. So this morning, like I said, I was listening to a talk from Professor Lori Santos. She's a doctor from Yale University. And I got some great information from her today. So take your level of knowledge, learn something with every morning. Even if it's 10 minutes, 5 minutes. If it's 5 minutes that you're reading a book that you've been wanting to read to take, to learn something, perfect. And then the other S, the last S in Savor, stands for scribe. Write in your journal. Write down the things that went well. Write down, for me, it's really the power of writing down in a gratitude journal. So who or what made a difference for you? What are your gratitude wins? Who or what made a difference for you? What did I do for myself today? Did I do something nice? Did I do something new? And S, what made me smile or laugh till my sides hurt? So if you're writing this in the morning, take a look at the day before. What are those gratitude wins that you had? And again, if this is something that you're just starting, pick and choose a few of them. You may not want to do all of them, but you need to start to get into the habit of doing at least 1 or 2 or 3, because what it does is it really sets the tone for the day. So I hope that was helpful. I know that we went over a lot of the stuff that was in the graphic, but I think the most important part of why it is so powerful to get it done in the morning is that once it's done, you can mark off, you can check off, that you've already accomplished a goal for the day, that you've already started the day on a positive foot. I had a meeting today, totally thought it was tomorrow. I got the call saying, hey, we were meeting today at 2. Can you come? Sure. Had I been saying, oh, I'll do my morning or I'll do my self-care routine at 4 o'clock, it wouldn't have happened. So that's the power of getting up, even if you have to get up a little bit earlier and getting it done and out of the way, so to speak. So please share, what is your morning routine? What things are you taking on? And if you're not part of our Facebook group yet, please join the Facebook group. That way we can start to communicate with each other, share with each other, see what works. And you are just as important in this community as I am. So I would love to hear from you. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I'll put the link to our Facebook group in the email that I'm sending out. And if you have not yet registered for the Kickoff 2020 in Gratitude, please make sure you do. Seats are filling up, and it's going to be an extraordinary 5 weeks of growth. Have a great day, everybody, and I will talk to you soon.